Namaskar class, I welcome you back to your chapter India Size and Location. In part 6 we will be covering one of the last topics of the chapter. In the previous class we have already covered the location and size, difference between day and night, Indian Standard Time and the neighboring countries. Today we are going to focus on two important factors for the chapter, that is the location of India at the head of Indian Ocean and the land routes. That is the importance of maritime routes and the land routes. Right. So in the importance of the location at the head of Indian Ocean, we can see that in Asia, India basically has a central location. That is, it is centrally located between the West and the East Asia. Now, what importance does India get because of it? As you can see, the southern part of India is been protruding out in the Indian Ocean. So we have a long coastline on the west as well as a longer coastline in the east. So when I have been talking about the trade, automatically trade connectivity to the different countries becomes easier. So it is very easy for me to connect to European countries and Africa through the western coast of India, and through the eastern coast it is easier for me to connect to Asian and the southern East Asian countries. Another important reason for India to gain its importance with regard to its location is that it is majorly covering the most portion of the ocean. As the long coastline of India occupies a great area coverage into the ocean, India is the only country after which the name of the ocean is being kept. Yes, and that is all because of the long coastline that India covers in the southern part of the ocean. So as we conclude over the points, we can refer to that first, India has been centrally located between East and West Asia. Second, routes across the Indian Ocean helps to connect with the countries of Europe in the west and the countries of East Asia. The Deccan Peninsula, which has been protruding out in the south of the mainland, helps to connect with West Asia, Africa, Europe from the western coast, and Southeast and East Asian countries from the eastern coast. Next, Indian Ocean has no other country which has a long coastline, because of which India has been the only country that has got its name into the ocean. The last very important factor I wanted to mention is that Suez Canal was constructed in 1869, and which was a major turnover in the trade purposes, where India was supposed to take a longer turn from the Cape of Good Hope to the European countries. The opening of Suez Canal, as you can see in the given picture, helped to reduce the distance between India and connectivity between the European countries. So that's all for when you're talking about the importance of the ocean. The second most important aspect talks about the land routes. Now, much before the oceanic routes were being developed and found out or discovered, there were land routes. Now, these land routes have been the major medium for connectivity among the people, exchange of ideas and commodities since ancient time. So let's have a look how the land routes have been important to us. Land routes have been much older than the sea routes. Various passes across the mountains in the north have provided the passages to the ancient travelers to enter into the mainland. The land routes have helped in the exchange of ideas and commodities since the ancient times. Right. So what have the ideas and commodities been that became a part of the country? Ideas of Upanishads, the Ramayana, stories of Panchatantra, numerical system and the decimal system. All these have reached out of the country to the rest of the world through these land routes only. And what has India got in return? Let's have a look. The influence of the Greek sculptures, the architectural style of domes and minarets from West Asia are all the things that you can see it in your own country. So as we have given Upanishads, Ramayana, Panchatantra to the world, in return the people who came to the country have left a mark in form of domes, minarets or sculptures. So that's called for the importance of the land routes. So as we end with the chapter, let's get into some facts. Do you know that the southern point of India is Indira Point? Yes, it's not Kanyakumari, it is Indira Point. In 2004 tsunami, Indira Point got submerged. So, which is the southern point now? Yes, the southern point till date also remains Indira Point. In the recent study, it has been told that it is gradually emerging out of the water once again. Second, since the opening of Suez Canal, the distance between India and Europe has reduced by 7,000 kilometers. It's a very big achievement in the trade connectivity between the countries. Third known fact, which you have been familiar with, before 1947, there were two types of states in India. One was a province, the second one was a princely state. Provinces were ruled by the British officials who were appointed by the viceroy. You must have heard about it. Whereas princely states were ruled by local or hereditary rulers who acknowledged the sovereignty in return for the local autonomy. One interesting fun fact to add by the end of your chapter is the rotation of the earth. As we know that there are 24 hours in a day, but how do we know that? Let's have a look. We know that the vertical lines running around the earth are the imaginary lines known as longitudes. Now we have 360 longitudinal lines around the earth. The prime meridian is the 0-degree longitude. Towards the west we have 180 longitudes, and towards the east we have another 180 longitudes, which accounts to be 360 longitudes. Now when I recall from my previous class that the time taken by sun to travel from one longitude to another is 4 minutes. So I do a simple calculation here. I multiply those 4 minutes into the 360 longitudes. And what do I get? 1440 minutes, which accounts to be how many hours? Yes, it is 24 hours. And that is how we get to know that the day we calculate has 24 hours. So with this, we end with the chapter India, Size and Location. Thank you, class. Do like and subscribe. Thank you.